Hey, what's up, stream keepers, and welcome back to my channel. And today's topic is going to be a little bit different, and I'm actually doing this video in September of 22. However, actually this topic is actually to talk about what's going to happen in 2023. And one of the reasons for having that kind of a time gap between the time that I'm actually doing this video and I'm actually releasing this video is actually uh in September it's already very late into the calendar year, and anything that needs to be done should already be done and follow through the plans and progresses all the way up to the end of the year. So that's the reason why I actually started planning for 23 much earlier in the year, so that in 23, when we start with 23, uh, we can actually execute and continue on the plan, just executing in 23. So that is the reason why every time between August, September, October period, we have already started with the next year's goal and have all these plans in place and executing them, so that when 1st of January actually happens in 23, we actually are really well ahead, all the fundamentals are done, so that we can actually strive forward in 23. So however, before I share with you the three main things that we wanted to focus in 23, I actually wanted to recap on what's happening on 22, and also take this opportunity to appreciate some of these breeders who have actually gone through with me this entire journey, and really appreciate their support and help throughout these years. And one of the things that I actually wanted to recap on 22 is that we have done a very successful breeding program for the boas and red stardust. There's a lot of great streams that came out of it, and we have actually shared a lot of these streams with a lot of breeders as well. So one of the things that I actually wanted to share, not so much on the stream part of it, is that in terms of knowledge sharing, outreach program, and sharing all this knowledge with breeders around the world, I think in 22 we have done an amazing job with visiting a lot of breeders around the world to actually share and spread the passion about stream breeding. So I think one of the most important highlight this year would be actually South Africa. We actually shared a lot of this information. I was there as a guest speaker, and share what's actually happening from our perspective, from the Asia perspective, what is actually happening in our region. What are some of the things that we actually do to actually tackle some of these challenges as well, because every country has their own challenges, right? So there is no one fixed rule or one fixed way of doing things, and I think every country's breeder will have to actually try to understand what their challenges are, and then push forward for to clear that obstacle. So I think that is one very big part of it, and really like to appreciate and take this opportunity to thank the South African breeders, especially Peter, John, Neil, who has already host me there, and they are really appreciative of what I'm doing. However, I'm also very appreciative of what they are also doing as well, to actually spread the passion of stream breeding, and not giving up, and continue on breeding the stream hobby, and to share all information, and try new things as well. Definitely, we throughout this interaction, it's not that they are always on the receiving end where I'm always sharing this information. I'm also learning from them as well. And it's really good for the hobby, because I don't think that I have learned a lot of things, and that I can no longer learn more. So I think uh, if somebody actually does that, then you're actually stopping yourself from getting better and learning more things. So that part, I'm always learning, because I find that every time when there's a new interaction, I kind of like, so this is how some of the things that you guys have been doing it, and see how I can actually try to innovate from there, and use it in my process as well. So I think that's fairly good, from an interaction standpoint. So the second part of 22 is that I've also shared a lot of this information with local breeders. I've also spent a lot of time with them, one on one, and asking them questions on what their direction is, and going through, you know, step by step how they're going to breed the streams, how they're going to do this and things like that. So I think that part, I have really engaged a lot of these local breeders and really challenged them in terms of, you know, information that they have actually learned online, and then after that tried to they tried to keep streams and wasn't very successful before they come to me, and then I share with them, you know, some of the things, because not what I actually encourage is that, you know, just learning from the web, learning from, you know, hearsay, learning from all this without questioning what's the intention, what's the, you know, what's the root cause, or why of things, how they do the things. So I think that's one of the more critical things that I often challenge the local breeders, in a way that, you know, asking questions such like, uh why are they doing this, you know, like why are they using UGF, why are they using this and that. So these are some of the things that kind of like give them a little bit of food for thought after they realize that uh, what they have seen, what they have heard, what they have learned is actually passed down from one person to the next person without actually people questioning and challenging the norm. So that's where, you know, I come into the picture, where I actually try to facilitate the thought process, and you know, why are things happening the way it should be, and things like that. So that's for 22. And of course, you know, I have also have the honor to actually meet with so many other European breeders. I really appreciate that, you know, especially Gary, especially Joseph, especially Isvan, who has really, you know, uh, showed their appreciation in terms of the knowledge sharing in their country as well, to spearhead and to, you know, try to give out a lot of information from their perspective, into the hobby in their own country. I think that is in itself is very honorable, and it takes a lot of time and effort to actually share all this information, because I can say that it's like a thankless job, where you actually share it. You have to sacrifice your time, your effort, and things like that, just to make sure that, you know, the breeders, the next generation breeders can actually get good information so that they can pass it on to the next generation, and things like that. So I'm just paying it forward because I receive a lot of good information from the past from Taiwan breeders. They have shared a lot of information, they have spent a lot of time with me, even up to today they have been encouraging me, they have been sharing all this very good information so that I can actually share with you guys as well. So I think that's very appreciative as well, for them visiting me in Singapore. Then of course, you know, when I'm doing this video, I'm actually haven't gone to the German international stream contest yet. However, you know, what I envision is that after this stream contest, it will, you know, enlarge my network in Europe, and will also continue to foster and strengthen the relationship that I actually have with them, for those that I have known. For example, Yuri Jensen, and people like that, you know. So those are some of the things that I really, you know, find that is very progressive in terms of the stream breeding journey that I have in 22. And for 23, what I'm actually going to do is that there are actually three things that I actually want to focus on. So the very first one is that, you know, I want to have this outreach program spread out to even more countries and to even more people. And of course, you know, the goal is to have at least 2 to 3 countries covered in the next in 23, so that, you know, I can actually share this information, share all what I have learned to more and more people around the world, so that, you know, more and more people actually can come into the hobby without having that sense of fear or doubt, that, you know, they may not be able to keep streams, or they may hit into a roadblock, and then, you know, will no longer be able to keep streams as well. So that's the very first thing, to have more outreach program internationally. The second part of it is that definitely, you know, progress and expansion and things like that. So in terms of expansion, we are going to have at least another 200% increase in tank volume, and of course, you know, the amount of space as well. So that is something that we are also working on currently, to so that, you know, we can actually be be more involved in terms of having the knowledge of the streams, and of course bringing them so that everybody can actually enjoy them as well, so that from a learning perspective we can actually see what's actually happening between different species as well. So that's the second thing. The third thing is actually to be more scientific in terms of our documentation, more scientific in terms of our knowledge sharing, the videos that I'm actually sharing as well. So there will be some scientific backing in that sense. And how are we actually going to do it is that but in time to come you'll get to know the methodology of it. But the long and short of it is that it's going to be very fact based, very research based. Of course, not done by myself. It's going to be done through a third party. It's going to be done through higher education institutions that will actually publish or may not publish their papers. However, we work very closely. We collaborate with them so that we can actually get real data on what is happening in terms of what are some of the powders that we are using. Are they really necessary for cycling of tanks, and how are some of the colors contrasting and things like that. Why are some of the streams having this color pigmentation and things like that. So there are a lot of good things that's going to happen in 23. And of course all those guesses or all those things that are not truly backed by science. I think these are some of the research that we are actually trying to undertake, and that will actually give a different spin, a different light in terms of what is actually going to happen in some of these conversations. So that is how we actually challenge the norm of what is actually being shared publicly in a lot of these forums, in a lot of these platforms as well. So I think one of the greatest aspect of this is that we are actually turning this hobby into a more research based, more academic based kind of information, so that when we share this information, there will be some understanding of why it is like that, instead of because it was done 5 years ago like that, or somebody has done it like that, or some breeder has done it like that. So one of the things is that we actually of course definitely science back the information. However, of course there will always be some variation to it. It just gives a different perspective of what it is, and it's not cast in stone of you have to do this way and things like that. So these are some of the three things that currently we are actually envisioning 23 to take place, and continue to spearhead some of these projects, and of course to encourage more breeders into this hobby, so that everybody can really enjoy this hobby as well. So thank you very much for this for listening to this video, and if you are new to this video, please new to this channel, please remember to subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, please remember to give a thumbs up, and until next time, peace out.